I've been invited to 3 basketball court fights. I have declined all 3 invitations.
How does that invitation come? Does that come in the mail?
Usually it comes in the form of, "You wanna take this outside?" And I go, "No, we're playing basketball."
We're playing
No.
basketball. Be cool.
I'm sorry, do you mean fight? No.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Sequoia.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm psyched for another episode of Professional Talkers, our comedy podcast about having awkward conversations and our journey to find out how to do that in the best way. We give advice, we say our pitfalls, and today we've got an excellent quandary.
It is something that I would say many people are very bad at.
I would venture to say that I'm bad at it.
It's one of those things where I try, like, I know the right things to do, and I still will mess it up. And I think I'm getting better at recognizing in the moment when I do mess it up. Down the road for this podcast, we're going to do a couple of Oops All Pitfalls episodes where it's just some sort of situation that is so awkward, we only want to tell you what not to do in that situation.
Right.
And I think this is the closest we've come to that. I do still have some advice, but
Yeah.
I also feel like all of my advice could just be, don't, like you could easily turn them all into pitfalls because there's just so many things that can go wrong with apologizing. And when you think about it, it should be really easy, but as human beings, we don't like admitting we were wrong.
Yeah, and it's kind of universal. Like, I do feel like people will be like, oh no, like, I'm so good at apologizing. I'm not one of those people who feels the need to always be right. And it's not even like a conscious thing that you're doing where you're like, I'm always right. It's
Mhm.
just like, it feels inherent in everyone that it just feels wrong. It just feels wrong.
Yeah, it's tough. Specifically for this episode, we are doing apologizing to a friend,
Yes.
which does feel like this is the most basic level of apology. I think you can kind of apply what we're going to talk about in this episode to lots of other situations. We will probably be doing other episodes, such as apologizing to a significant other, apologizing to your boss or someone at work. I think that those have different twists, but at the
Yes.
core of apologizing to a friend is usually just there's no like extra levels because apologizing to a significant other can include how to apologize to someone and then go to bed that night in the same bed, which is just another level. We got to talk about intro to apologizing.
This is intro to apologizing. Welcome.
This is the freshman year course. We'll get
Right.
into advanced apologizing.
Yeah. Before you're
Later.
allowed to be in the class intro to apologizing, the first thing you need to master is running into a stranger physically and then saying, "Oop."
Oh. I love Ope. Ope is so good. And I just did a recent Midwest tour for the News Olympian and lots of Ope, and I just felt at home. I'm not from the Midwest at all. I had never gone there until my late adult life, and it's just a delightful turn of phrase that you can use in every single situation. It's just perfect.
Yeah, Utah likes to say it's many different things, including the South and the West and the Southwest and the Midwest but I've been saying "ope" my whole life.
It's good.
But we're not here to tell you how to say sorry to a stranger you've just physically run into. We're here to talk about how to say you're sorry to your friends.
Yes.
Mike, how many pieces of advice did you bring?
I have 3 pieces of advice.
I'm impressed because, like, we did say that this could be all pitfalls.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had a hard time not making
Okay.
it all pitfalls. I only have 2 pieces of advice today.
Cool. I still have quite a few pitfalls, but yeah, I'll begin with advice. And as I said, I feel like some of these could be pitfalls. So if something I said leans into your pitfall, then we can kind of, cross.
For sure.
first thing that I have is kind of like the first chronological step. And this will vary depending on exactly what the situation is. But my
Mhm.
first piece of advice is find out exactly what hurt the other person.
Mm.
Like, you have to just find out what went wrong. And sometimes it could just be directly talking to that person. If it's a situation where you've made a mistake and they let you know directly, then it's very clear. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This person told me what went wrong. Other times you will find out through the grapevine that you did
Yeah.
something that hurt someone's feelings, you said the wrong thing, whatever. So I think the first step before you can even truly get into apologizing is you have to find out what you did. That allows you to think about it so that before you like rush into an apology, and what I'm really trying to say is before you rush into being way too defensive and deflecting and acting like you didn't do anything wrong, find out what you did do wrong so that you can think about it a little bit first before approaching an apology.
Right. You don't wanna miss the mark entirely.
Mhm.
It's like if Stacy comes up to you and is like, "Samantha's mad about her party."
Mhm.
You don't know exactly what, or maybe you do know exactly what you did
You know what you
at
did.
Samantha's party. But maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, "No, that party was normal, and we were all having a very normal time."
Mhm.
You don't wanna go in being like, "I'm so sorry about the party." You clearly didn't put in the work
100%.
for the apology.
You got to put in the work. You got to think about it. And I think the good thing about finding out what hurt them, especially if it's from a non-direct situation, is you can
Mhm.
kind of get out that instinct of what? No, come on. Like, you can kind of get that out of
Yeah.
your system beforehand. I think it is hard when someone does it directly to you, and it's always hard in any situation to just like take a beat and think about things before talking.
Right.
Might not be able to do it if someone's like directly confronting you,
Sure.
but in any way that you can, just like try to take a beat, try to think about it, because I think the human response is to go, no, 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 no. And that's
Yeah.
not what you want to do.
Right.
Find out exactly what you did so that you know what you are apologizing for.
Yeah, don't try to apologize for something nebulous.
No, no,
That's not benefiting anyone, and especially not you.
100%. But like, this thing allows you to understand the other person's perspective. And
Mhm.
that is the most important thing when it comes to apologizing.
Right.
You have hurt someone else, so you need to know how they are feeling. You got to put yourself in their shoes because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not about you. This is about them. So
Right.
figure out why they are upset.
I also have an establishing piece of advice,
Ooh.
a pre-apology piece of advice,
Uh-huh.
apology prep, as it were.
Yes. That's the course we didn't do before. It's like pre-algebra, pre-apology.
Yeah, yeah. I would say you need to assess the level of apology, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
Because we're talking broadly here about apologies.
mhm.
You could have done something really bad,
Right.
or it could have been something that maybe doesn't need as much gravitas
Mhm.
as another apology would need. You mess it up immediately if you go in with the wrong level of apology.
Yeah, I mean, because certain things are just quick. You did this, oh, my bad, and then cool.
Right.
But other times it's more severe, and you don't want to give a cavalier apology for a more significant offense.
Yeah, that goes hand in hand with your piece of advice because you're at Samantha's party.
Hmm.
You have a glass of wine. You accidentally spill some of your glass of wine on Samantha's coat that's sitting on the couch, right?
Hmm.
That's no good. You want to apologize for having done that and not told her at the party and hoped she didn't notice. You want to apologize for that. But then there might be an added level that you didn't know because you didn't do your apology prep, where that coat was her great grandmother's coat from blah
Hmm.
blah blah. Like that
Right.
coat has more significance than you thought it did. So then you have to lend more gravitas to the apology.
Yeah. the coat one, that's like, obviously you got to apologize right away, but
Yeah,
also you can just like give that person time to like figure out what's going on. Like they're probably not going to want to talk with you for a little bit because they'll
sure.
probably be mad at you for the immediate. And then, you give them a little time, they'll realize, okay,
Right.
Mike didn't mean to spill the wine on my coat. Or did
Or
he?
did he? Classic Mike.
Classic me. I'm
Again?
always out there. Oh, your coat's too pretty. If you, I must be the fanciest boy at the party.
The
As I sit in my closet of coats.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, going to the legal pad for my advice number 2, which is be neutral emotions wise.
Mm.
If you are apologizing, you can't be angry. You can't make, oh, woe is me. Like, you need to try and be as level headed about it as possible
Yeah.
because you're just trying to level with the person and be like, look, my bad. I'm sorry. I messed up or I didn't realize or et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera. And like, I guess you obviously want to like have sincerity in there, but like, you don't want to like put extra oomph into it to where it sounds like you're acting or you're trying to make them feel
Right.
bad and all this kind of
It's a
stuff.
now it's a monologue.
Exactly.
When I was a young girl, I too had a coat. A
Hmm.
beautiful coat. Then they just start singing Joseph. Red and yellow and crimson and gold. And
Ugh,
that's not how you apologize.
no. I think it sounds more believable if it's just like, hey, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize, my bad. Where can we go from here? Kind of stuff.
See, my next piece of advice isn't necessarily counter to that advice,
Okay.
but it's a modification, perhaps.
Sure.
Yet again, some apology prep. It's possible that this is a worksheet. We are creating a apology homework, apology prep worksheet for you currently, listeners. But I would say you have to tailor your apology to the audience,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You might have like a little bit of a dramatic friend who would like it if you grovel a little bit,
Hmm.
which might, not necessarily be neutral coming in, but they want you to be sad about it, or they want you to be quick about it, or they're going to feel awkward. You're like, this
Hmm.
friend is going to feel awkward about me apologizing. It's going to be a whole thing. So I'm just going to go in neutral, get it over with quickly. They will be happy. We will be happy. We will move forward.
Yeah, I like this. I think this is a tweak and it kind of gets more of what I was trying to get at with be neutral. I
Okay.
guess it's you want to match the emotion of the situation or whatever it
Right.
does call for it. And that kind of brings in what we were saying earlier with the severity of it, figuring out exactly what you did so that you are approaching it in the way that it warrants. And I think the tailoring the message as the next level to it, because everyone's going to want something different. Like me personally, I don't need it to be like long and verbose and all over the top. Like, if you've taken enough energy to apologize to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, great, we're already done. Like, we can stop and we can already move on to next steps because
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, I know how much effort it takes. Other people are not going to be the same way.
You might win over your friend with Joseph's coat of many colors. We don't
Sure.
know. This is
Hmm.
this is a person to person thing. But for me, I'm very similar. I'm like, if you're apologizing, I believe you.
Hmm.
Like, just the simple act of doing it, because it's a difficult thing to do, means that I believe you. I don't need you to, like, have a whole, breakdown about it in order for me to believe that you are sincerely apologizing to me.
Hmm.
However, if you're, like, too chill, then
Yes.
I might not think that you understand, like we said, the severity of the thing that you have done.
Right.
But generally, I don't need tears about it.
Yeah. Okay. My third and final piece of advice is this is another prep thing, but so these are the ones if you have more time.
Mhm.
Talk with a level headed third party about it. This is similar to the roommate
Mm.
advice that we gave in the previous
Yes.
episode, but especially if it's a situation where you don't think you did anything wrong, you have to talk to someone else about it. And I said level headed third party because we all have friends that are just going to gas you up and be like, nah,
Yeah.
dude, you're totally right. Stacy's being wild. You did
Right.
nothing wrong. That friend is not helpful in this
No.
situation. They are helpful in other situations. You have a beef against an enemy? Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, let them gas you up. Your
Yeah.
enemy's the worst. Your rival sucks. Everything they've ever done is awful, but if you're apologizing to a friend, someone that you like, you got to talk to someone else. Obviously, if it's like something that isn't like very personal or, things where it's okay
Sure.
if you talk to this person, but I think a vibe check can go a long way.
Yeah.
And this can even be someone that's like out of the situation. You could talk to your mom about it. You could talk to your significant other who is not friends with this person about it. I think if you have someone that you trust, your therapist, like if there's someone that you trust that you think is confident enough to tell you, yeah, kind of sounds like you messed up.
Yeah.
I think that is a worthwhile conversation to have. Also, it just gives you another perspective. You can see how someone else would react to it. And I think that has proven helpful for me in the past. I've definitely had situations where I found out that someone was upset because of something that I did. I thought it was ridiculous. I
Yeah.
talked to my friend about it or Kelly about it, and I went into it thinking like they're going to totally agree with me. And
Uh-huh.
then they're like, no, you kind of sound like the jerk in this situation. Like, I see why they're upset. So that kind of person can go a really long way in making you realize, okay, maybe I did actually mess up. Now I actually should put more effort into it. And I'm not just going to go through the motions of, okay, I'm going to apologize because I have to, but deep down, I don't believe it.
Yeah, you know what I think is a good person to tap for these? And apologies to only children, but
Mm,
your sibling, I
yep.
think, is a good person to tap for this
Hmm.
because they know you pretty well and
Yes.
they know and they know all the tricksy shenanigans that you've been up to.
Hmm.
Your sibling is on your side most of the time, but they'll tell it to you like it is, I think.
Yeah. You need someone who can tell it to you like it is for sure.
If there's a person you can tap that knows everyone in the situation,
Yeah.
that is
Hmm.
also helpful.
Right.
And then they can help you a little bit with the continuous prep, the what is the level of this infraction?
Yeah. And I think that this can also be part of the step of find out what you did wrong. If you upset Cindy and Patricia tells you that you upset Cindy, clearly Patricia knows what's up and has probably talked to Cindy. So you can talk to Patricia and be like, yo, what did I do?
Right.
This is something that I ran into in college. I'm going to keep this very vague because obviously it's an apology type story, like feelings were hurt.
Sure.
I had goofed. I had done something wrong where I was like acting in my own self interest, not necessarily doing it out of spite. Like I wasn't
Mhm.
doing the thing to anger the other person.
Sure. Yeah.
But if I took a step back, it would be like, okay, yeah, but you know that it would make this person upset if they
Yeah.
found out. And
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine who was friends with me and the person who was upset, and they told me about it. And I was able to have a really good conversation with him about what went wrong, and I could kind of see the other person's perspective. And then he gave me a piece of advice that I have taken for the rest of my life because, like, I apologized to this person and, like, I didn't do a good job of it.
Okay.
Talked to him about it after the fact, and he told me that admitting fault is not the same thing as apologizing. And that is huge. You can't just
Yes.
say, oh, I goofed. Oh, I messed up. Like, that's
Right.
not the same thing. Just
No.
admitting that you did something wrong is not actually an apology because it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily prove that you feel bad about what you did. It doesn't show or let them know that you are going to try and not do something to hurt them going forward. It doesn't show remorse.
Right.
Just because you admit that you messed up, that's not enough. It's a good first step,
Sure.
but you have to build upon that.
You want that to be involved
Correct.
somewhere in the apology, but
Yeah.
it cannot be the only thing the apology is. For sure, for
Mhm,
sure.
mhm,
Yeah. And saying you're actually sorry for the thing that you admit you did, that is growth.
mhm. Okay, that's all advice. We're into Pitfall Town now, yeah?
Pitfall Town.
Okay,
Township.
how many pitfalls do you have?
I have 4 pitfalls.
Okay, great. I had 5, but we kind of got into it with that
Okay.
last little story, so I effectively have 4 as well.
Okay. Great. Well, then I'll go first.
Please do.
Okay, so here's the thing. I did almost bring this up earlier because we
Ooh,
have sort of talked about it, and I'm sure it's one of your pitfalls.
okay.
It's not about you.
That is my number one.
It's
Don't make it
not
about you.
about you.
It's not. It's not.
And I will say the thing about this is that it's really hard.
It's so hard.
It's
It's
really
so
hard
hard.
because I'm like, not only am I doing the apologizing, so I'm here on the spot, but also like I feel bad that I did this thing. And it's
Mhm.
so hard to like let the fact that you're in the spotlight and that you did something wrong take the total backseat.
It's hard to do this just, like, in a lot of different ways. It's something that I even try to look at when I am posting something where I'm happy about someone else's accomplishment,
Yeah.
like a tweet or
Hmm.
something on social media. Look how many times I and me shows up in your post where you're happy about someone else's success. Like, it's so hard
Like,
sometimes.
I've been watching Stacy play tennis since she was 4 years old.
I knew she could do it.
I knew she could do it.
Mhm. But the apology, you're 1,000% right. It's about them. They are the one that is hurt. You need to apologize to them. You need to consider their emotions. You need to figure out what you can do to make them feel better. If they have worked up the courage to tell you directly,
Sure.
or even to tell someone else to pass the message along to you. Like, it is hard enough to make it publicly known that something was upsetting to you. Like, that can be really hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, sometimes these situations will be so bad that it's very apparent that something went wrong. But if someone has worked up the courage to tell you, hey, you said this, it actually really bothered me, etc.,
Yeah.
then don't immediately suck all the air out of the situation and make it all about you because they might have had to really work up some oomph to tell
Sure.
you how they're feeling. It's so
Exactly.
much easier just to keep it bottled up inside. So don't just make it all about you. That's the worst thing to do.
Yeah. It is to an extent, it is about you. You
Hmm.
know, the
Yeah,
reason why it's hard to not make it about you is that it's totally about you a little bit.
yeah, it's about what you did.
Yeah.
You are involved in the situation, but it is not about
But it is
you.
not about your feelings.
This kind of gets into one of mine, so I'll transition
Okay.
into don't negate their emotions.
Mm,
Don't have such a strong emotional stance where you're making them feel bad about being angry
right.
or upset or hurt or saddened or whatever. Like, if you have such a strong emotional response to it, especially if you are defensive or something in that ballpark,
Mhm.
you don't want it to turn into, well, actually, you're in the wrong because I did nothing wrong and all this
Right.
other stuff. You should feel bad for being upset that I said this thing, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Of course, I didn't mean it. You actually are a bad friend for thinking that I could have implied this bad thing. Like,
Right. I would never say that.
don't you know me better? Don't you think better of me? Right. I would never say that. Like, don't do that stuff for the
No.
similar reasons that I was saying. If they have worked up the courage to say that you've hurt them, you don't get to like pick right or wrong, yes or no when someone's emotions are at play.
Right. Exactly.
If someone was upset, like that's the correct answer. Like they were upset. They are right because it's
Yeah.
their emotions. You don't get to say like actually you're wrong. You shouldn't have been upset. That's not how this works.
Right.
They got upset, you did something to upset them. It happened. Let's figure out where we go from here.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, oh, I shouldn't have cut my hair, but guess what? You did. It's gone. You got bangs. It's
I did
already
a
been
thing.
done. Yeah. Like these are things that you can't just like undo by being like, shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And then it just turns into like a, I know you were, but what am I? I know you
Yeah.
were, but what am I?
Right. It's just incredibly unproductive.
And it baits your friend into arguing with you.
Mm.
And then not only did you do something mean to your friend, you baited them into a dumb argument that's actually bad.
And now it's made things worse. Like by them trying to make the relationship stronger by letting you know that something that you did upset them, we are now in a situation where because you didn't handle the apology well, you're even worse off than if your friend just let this lie. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like this whole
Yeah.
apology and everything is an opportunity for growth.
We don't want to discourage people from saying when they have
Yes.
been wronged.
Oh my gosh. I mean, look at every terrible famous person that just surrounds themselves with yes people
Oh
all
my
of the
god.
time, and then they grow into being horrible people because no one has ever told them no or that they were wrong for their entire life. You
Right.
need that sort of thing. Yeah, you're right. You don't want to dissuade people from being honest with you.
It is good friendship for someone to tell you that you messed up
Yeah.
and good friendship for you to apologize.
Hello, it's Mike, just here with a couple of quick updates. First, I want to thank the folks who have joined our Patreon most recently over at patreon.com/professional talkers. We have two folks who have joined our Talking Apprentice tier. They're getting access to bonus content, ad-free episodes, and more. So shout out to West Aaron and Sarah Gronland. Thank you both so much. Only other bit of news here is that Sequoia and I are performing that live show for the Noose Olympian, my Percy Jackson podcast, and we are live streaming it as well. So we're doing a live show in Providence, Rhode Island on September 13th. We're covering the end of the Mark of Athena, which is the third book in the Heroes of Olympus series. There's this big, oh my goodness, ending. I'm going to read that live on stage, live react to it and everything. But if you get the internet, which you do, you can watch that either live via live stream or via the stream replay. Every ticket comes with a replay. So no matter what you want to do, go to thenewestolympian.com/live for your physical ticket for the in-person show or your digital ticket for the live stream show. That comes with a 7-day replay. That is Saturday, September 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, or whenever the heck you want to watch it for a week if you get that live stream ticket. So that's all I've got here. And now we will take a break for some inserted advertisements, or it'll just get right back to the episode. Sometimes it just goes right back to the episode, but if you're on Patreon, it would for sure go right back to the episode. Okay, what's your next pitfall?
We kind of got into this one as well when we were talking about like the tone to use. But my pitfall would be like, because it's awkward, don't go into it like joke times. I'm so
Correct.
sorry that I ruined your family heirloom. We're cool though, right, bro? You know, like that
Mm-hmm.
that's I think probably always going to be the wrong tone with
Mm-hmm.
which to enter the situation.
Yeah, it's belittling your friend. It is making them feel like they shouldn't have brought this up in the first place. It's stopping you from actually having a real conversation about it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this is an apology. It should be a serious conversation. And now you're like, actually, this is a flippant matter and we should just laugh and,
Yeah.
nudge each other's elbows into each other's sides and move down the sidewalk arm in
Right.
arm. Like, no, we got to talk real quick.
Exactly. Like this I get that this is like a reaction to the fact that it's awkward. Like
Hmm.
every awkward conversation can turn into a giggle pile because everybody's feeling weird about it. Even if you get away with it, like even if you get away with doing the apology that way and your friend's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, whatever, man." You know, that problem is not actually resolved.
No, they are not going to feel satisfied with how
No.
that went. They're not going to be
Nope.
like, well, they respect me as a person. No.
No, that's just gonna continue to fester and you think you fixed the problem and you have not fixed the problem.
Yeah, ultimately, someone letting you know that you did something that upset them, they are probably doing this in hopes that this never happens again.
Yes.
And if you don't show some sincerity, then it's not going to give them the confidence that you understand what they were looking for. And they're not going to really think that you are committed to making sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, then you get into like double apology territory where you have to do the apology multiple times.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, folks, that's more awkward than
Yeah.
doing it once.
My next pitfall is don't deflect. Don't blame other people. I feel like we've
Right.
gotten into this, but I think you can explain where you were coming from. I think you should explain where you're coming from. This kind of also gets into my advice where, like, I think you can do it in a neutral way.
Mm-hmm.
I had a long conversation with a friend. I made them upset. They wanted to explain to me why they were upset. I kind of tried to just like listen to what they were saying, even if there were some parts that I was like, I don't really know, or I have a reason why this happened, blah, blah, blah. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to swallow that as much as I could. I still tried to explain, I see why you were upset. I'm sorry. I should not have done that. This is what my thought process was,
Right.
but like that doesn't forgive it. That doesn't necessarily negate their emotions for it. So, though
Right.
you can still try to explain what you were trying to do, your intentions, etc., I don't think you should go into the next level of trying to play a blame game, especially if you're pointing at the finger at them, but at someone else or some other
Right.
situation, or even blaming it on, oh, like I was so stressed from work, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can give your perspective, but don't take it so far that you're trying to make it seem like, oh, actually, I didn't really do anything wrong.
You can say, like, my intention was this.
Hmm.
Clearly, that did not come across.
Yeah.
Clearly, I went about that in the wrong way. I won't do that again. I'm very sorry.
Hmm.
And that's a perfectly valid apology as opposed to, well, what I really intended to say was this. And so that's probably what you should have heard.
Hmm.
Or Stacy told me that to say this to you, or that Chad bumped my arm and
Yeah.
then I spilled wine on your grandma's coat.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
And I think a lot of times when it comes down to you said something and they interpreted it a different way, or you did something and they interpreted it a different way, a lot of times it can just come down to communication, wires getting crossed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that is something where you can explain, like, I didn't mean to do this. I'm sorry that I did that. I feel like if I had communicated better, maybe that would have come through, but I completely see why you would think that. So, like, that can be a thing where you totally had the right intentions, you
Mhm.
really meant no harm, they were still upset, but, like, don't water down what they're saying.
Yeah.
Even though was in my brain doing the right thing, you're still kind of saying, like, but I didn't communicate that properly. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and I'll try to do a better
It
job.
is my
If you are
fault.
like
Yeah.
truly convinced that you didn't do anything wrong, you still should kind of blame it on the way in which you handled yourself, expressed yourself,
Yeah.
sent the message, said the sentence, whatever, because that's still valid. Like, you can have good intentions and still mess up and upset someone.
Right.
So
Right.
that's a good way to make sure that you're not deflecting, is you can be like, in my heart of hearts I was right and I still messed up, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. This whole episode so far, I've been trying to think of literally any example from my lived experience. One of several things is happening.
Uh-huh.
One, I blocked out every time I was wrong. I just fully blocked that out. Or two, I've never apologized to anyone, but I feel like that's probably not true. That feels untrue to my nature. Every time we've talked about one of these things, I've been like, "Oh, that would have been an interesting tactic to use on my enemies." Um because Mike, I have a lot of enemies. Ah, my next pitfall is that don't wait too long.
Yeah, yeah.
We were talking earlier and you said give some space, right? And give some space is totally valid. Too much space
Mhm.
then goes bad. It goes in the wrong direction.
Yeah. My give some space is like if it's an immediate thing, you've spilled wine on someone's thing, you broke someone's lamp, things like that.
Mhm.
Maybe take a step away because you are the last person that they want to see. But I completely agree with you, especially if you know you did something wrong. Give some
Right.
space. You also can just like send a text message or something of like, hey, whenever you want to talk about XYZ, let me know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I also understand if you need a little bit of time.
Yeah. If you wait too long, then it's another one of those things where it's just like you are increasing the awkward quotient
Hmm.
of the conversation just by waiting too long.
Yeah.
So if you're like not wanting to have this conversation because it's going to be awkward, it does not behoove you to continue to put it off.
Especially if you know you are the person who needs to be breaking the ice here,
Yeah.
then you got to do it because if too much time passes, then if you ever do have the conversation, it'll be weird. You might forget like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fine details. You might rewrite history in your brain to where you look like an even more of a good guy in the situation. So I agree. Yeah, you can't let it go on too long.
This is especially if you heard from Patricia
Hmm.
that Stacy told Patricia and then Patricia tells you, like if Stacy didn't tell you to your face
Hmm.
and then like a month later you're like, "Oh yeah, also Patricia said that I made you sad and I'm sorry about that."
No, no.
That's really bad.
Nah, that's tough. And I think if you want to avoid this, something you can do, because maybe there's something that happened, you're like, I don't know if they were upset. I can't really tell. If this is a friend of yours that you care about, you should be able to have like a little check of like, hey, at the party, seemed like I said this thing and you made a little bit of a face. Did I say something wrong or am I reading too much into it? Like, that's super valid. I did that with one of my close friends where we were just hanging out and it was something that was like long past and just like a similar kind of conversation came up.
Mhm.
Because I really care about this person, I was just like, hey, a couple years ago, this thing happened. I want to make sure, like, did I mess up? If
Mhm.
so, I'm really sorry. And they were like, oh, no, absolutely, you're good. So
Right.
I think if you really do care about this friendship, then you should not be afraid to do a little, like, hey, did I mess up? Check. And like we were talking about earlier, it can really be hard to let your friend know that you
Yeah.
upset them. So if you are giving someone like a little bit of a platform, a little bit of the assist to open
Sure.
that door for the conversation, they might really appreciate it because it's going to be hard to work up. We honestly might do an episode about telling your friend that they hurt your feelings because it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
think it's a very nice thing to do is to kind of like open that door for them.
And I have a very similar story to you, but it is about my enemies.
It's great. It's great. We should do Patreon episodes where it's just like the opposite of all the advice and just how to make every single episode just like, oh yeah, so for your enemies, do
So
this.
for your enemies, yeah.
Do
Spill
this.
a glass of wine on their grandma's coat.
Look, I'm not joking. As an instigator trash talk type person, I do think Patreon bonus episodes about how to anger people more would be really good.
Yeah, I'm in.
Because I'm objectively too good at it. Too good for my own good at making people upset.
Listen, I played Quidditch for 6 years. I have an enemy list so long it could fill up my entire legal pad.
I've been invited to 3 basketball court fights. I have declined all 3 invitations.
How does that invitation come? Does that come in the mail? Does it come in
Usually it comes in the form of, you want to take this outside? And I go, no, we're playing basketball.
We're playing basketball. Be cool.
I'm sorry, do you mean fight? No. I have respectfully declined every invitation, but I've been given 3, which says something about how I condone myself on the basketball court, even though I was never in the wrong, and I will
think
defend myself.
I think they should have taken out a little glove and slapped you with it. I challenge you.
That would have been fun. All right. This one should be super duper obvious. When you start to apologize, I'm sorry are 2 really good words to start with. Your
They
third
are.
word is not allowed to be but. It is not allowed to be but. You
And we cannot stress
cannot
this enough.
say, I'm sorry, but. Because you know what that means? You take the but, you turn the B into an N, you turn the U into an O, you move it one word over, it translates to, I'm not sorry. This is also the same thing for, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that that offended you. I'm
Right.
sorry that,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
No, 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 no,
All
no.
classics?
None of that. None
Yeah.
of that. I'm sorry, period.
Mhm.
Then you can continue.
I'm sorry, and then we take a breath, and then we all take a
Correct.
breath together.
I feel like the order of operations should just be, even beforehand, figure out exactly what you did wrong. Then say I'm sorry and focus just on, I goofed, I messed up. This is how you feel. This is your emotions. I should have done this better. I did this wrong, whatever. Then you can try to throw in a little bit of, let me at least give you my perspective, what I was trying to do, my intentions, etc.
Mhm.
But I messed up and I'm sorry. So it's kind of like compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
Right. It's a big hunky piece of ciabatta bread that's like, you're right, my bad, oopsie.
I am so
a
sorry.
little pesto spread of here's what
Ooh.
I was trying to do.
Uh-huh.
And then another big chunky piece of ciabatta bread that's like, and I
Wow.
won't do this going forward. Your opinions and feelings are valid, and so are your emotions. I'm really sorry.
Was there cheese on that sandwich, or was it just bread spread bread?
Bread spread bread. We could put a little cheese as well, but not too much.
You could put a little cheese in there.
Not too much.
Uh,
But just don't say I'm sorry, but that's the worst. That's the worst.
that is a number 1 offender.
It's really bad.
I have one final
Mhm.
piece of piece of pitfall?
Yep, piece of
Sure.
pitfall. Sure.
Sure, why not? I have one final piece of pitfall. It is that don't be ashamed of apologizing. Be ashamed of the thing that you did wrong.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So are you trying to specifically say like your focus should be on being regretful for what you did, not regretful like that you are apologizing?
Less of regretful and more of like embarrassed, right?
Mhm.
Because like we find, as we said at the top of the episode, like
Mm,
people find this an embarrassing thing to do because we never want to be
mhm.
wrong. Take that embarrassment, fine, you have it, take it, place it in the correct place, which is not
Yeah.
that you are embarrassed that you are apologizing, it's that you're embarrassed that you did that thing.
Yeah. The embarrassing thing is not apologizing to your friend. The embarrassing thing is hurting your friend's feelings because they're your friend.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. That's a good way, I think, to put it in the perspective of avoiding a lot of the pitfalls. That is how you avoid things like just admitting fault instead of actually going the
Right.
next step and truly apologizing. Yeah, your sense of remorse should be that you let your friend down.
Yeah.
That's what you should feel squirmy and awkward about. It should
Exactly.
not be about the actual apologizing.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the end of the episode. The true awkward conversation is actually that you messed up. That's where the awkwardness
That
actually
was
is.
the awkward conversation all along.
I
Exactly.
mean, honestly,
Exactly.
that could maybe even help you feel less daunted by apologizing. Like,
Yeah.
actually apologizing should not be awkward. The awkward thing is already over.
It's been done. You did it.
It's in the past. And this is your friend. Like, this is someone who's understanding of you, and they should be thinking that you are someone that wants to be a good friend. You want to treat them well. You want what's best for them also.
Exactly. You got the bangs and now you have to live with them.
Right. Yeah, the awkwardness is actually it's already done. Don't sweat this.
Mhm.
It's already over. The worst part is over.
The worst part is
What a
over.
wildly optimistic episode. Wow.
Wow.
The worst part's already behind you. This is
Yeah.
the easy part. You just got to
Exactly.
not be a jerk. You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it.
Wow.
Do you have another pitfall?
We already did it, but my last one was don't just admit fault.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we
Okay.
touched on it.
So we can end on this high note.
This really high note
Yeah.
of actually apologizing is not awkward.
It's not awkward
You're already
because
done
you
with the
already
awkward
did
part.
the
You
awkward
hurt your
part.
friend's feelings.
You
Now
didn't even
fix it.
know.
Now get in there and fix it.
Get in there. This is a motivational podcast.
Yes,
now.
it is.
Yep.
That's a thing. I think
Mhm.
ultimately a lot of the times we will get into my overarching philosophy. Farts should be sneezes.
Exactly. As
Which
we
is,
always say.
as we always say, farts should be sneezes. Things that we all think are awkward and weird are actually not awkward and weird. They're super normal. And
Yep.
this is the kind of thing. Hurting someone's feelings is more awkward than apologizing for hurting someone's feelings.
And it's inevitable.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, that's the thing. It's a human experience. Farts or sneezes. It's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna
Mhm.
goof, whether you mean to or not, or whether you're being selfish or not, even if your intentions are great. You're gonna mess up. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. You're gonna mess up big things. You're gonna mess up small things. Your friend is going to understand that you're a human being. So they're not
True.
going to hate you forever because you hurt their feelings.
Right.
If you refuse to apologize to them, they might hate you forever, and they would be right to do so.
And actually, we stand behind that person.
Your friend is right.
Incredible. Incredible. I guess if we want to do a wrap up rundown,
Yeah, let's break it down.
our advice is that you should assess the level of apology that needs to be given and
Mhm.
tailor your apology to its audience. And also,
Find out exactly what hurt them. I will adjust be neutral into bring the correct emotion
great.
to the situation. And if you can, talk with a level headed third party. What about our pitfalls?
Our pitfalls are don't make it about you. It's not about you.
Mhm.
Don't go in with a comedic overtone. That's no good. Don't wait too long.
Mhm.
And don't be embarrassed of apologizing. Be embarrassed about the thing you did.
Yeah. And then my pitfalls. Don't make it about you. Don't deflect. Don't play the blame game. Don't point fingers. Do not say, I'm sorry, but don't negate the emotion so much so that you're making the other person feel bad for telling you that you hurt their feelings. And don't stop at admitting fault.
If you take anything away from this episode, listener, do not say I'm sorry, but.
That's the easiest one.
If you gotta keep one in there.
Well, just like when Jesus, like the one person was like, hey, man, can you give me the Bible in one sentence? And he was like, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's this. Like,
Yeah, that's.
hey, what do I do? Never say I'm sorry, but.
I'm sorry, but it's off the table. Um. And it's that time again, listeners, watchers. We are back here in the studio with our favorite podcast ghost / Gen Z introvert vibe checker, Sherry Wost. Hello. Welcome to the podcast yet again.
Hello.
What do you think of our advice and pitfalls today?
Yeah, pretty reasonable. Don't have much.
Look,
Listen, this is the goal.
this is what we want.
The goal is like, we brought on Sherry, we talked for 15 seconds.
Because first off, it makes us feel great, like we did a good job. We give good advice. And then whoever's editing the episode has less work to do.
Yeah, this is also about post-production.
We're very transparent here at Professional Talkers. We're keeping it professional.
I do feel like a lot of our advice today revolved around preparing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And introverts, correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, will handle a situation like apologizing to your friend better with like prep work and having like talked to somebody else about it and done all of these things.
It's a whole consulting firm run by one person.
Yeah. So I feel like the prep work is good for introverts.
Because you're already doing that anyway.
The constantly just running in your head. Yeah.
Because you're not in the conversation.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think anytime I've had like good heart-to-hearts, whether it's, I'm doing the apologizing or I'm talking to the third person, like we said in the episode about like, was I in the wrong? I feel like the people who come to mind that gave me the best advice or I had the most productive conversations about this with were introverts. And maybe it is just the constant anxiety, like you had alluded to in a previous vibe check, makes you feel like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't know like what the numbers are in real life, but I feel like more introverts are in therapy than extroverts. I feel like extroverts probably think they don't need therapy.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm fine. Everyone else is the one that's the problem.
Well, thank you, Sherry.
Thank you as always.
Well, thank you so much to everybody for listening to this episode of Professional Talkers. You can find us on social media at ProTalkPod.
Yes, and you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/professional talkers, where you'll get access to bonus content and behind the scenes thing and progress on how this book we're supposed to be writing is going. All that and more. But thank you so much for listening. Sequoia, thank you for taking the time. This was really fun.
It's been nice talking to you, Mike.
It's been nice talking to you as well. And listeners, we'll talk with you next time. We appreciate you listening to this episode of Professional Talkers.
Professional Talkers is created, hosted, and produced by Mike Schubert and Sequoia Simone.
Today's episode was edited by Sequoia Simone, the music is by Bettina Campamanes, and the art is by Elliot Davis.
Can't get enough of the show? Get access to loads of additional content like ad-free episodes and bonus episodes as a thank you for supporting us at patreon.com/professionaltalkers.
And if that's still not enough, follow us on social media. We're at ProTalkPod on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter.
If you want to watch the video versions of these episodes, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@professionaltalkers.
We'd love it if you would subscribe to and rate the show on your preferred podcasting app, and we'd be especially grateful if you talked about the show to your friends or on social media. Word of mouth helps new shows grow. Talk to you soon.